Got my coffee here. Mm-hmm. Yum. Oh, still have not received my Life Boost coffee beans, which I'm waiting for. If you do get on here, please, 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 please say good morning. Okay, thank you. There. Got some fake corn in the back going on. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to read today. Yay. Make them super short again. These are going to be shorter and shorter and shorter. And I'm even thinking about maybe just doing them 3 times a week rather than all week. Maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Who knows? Or just 3 days a week. Okay, so let's get started. Good morning, whoever got on here. We have coffee and everything going on in the background. Lots of craziness in the background, so apologize. Okay. I'm saying your laugh is crazy. Oh, is that the fake laugh? Is that fake laugh number 1? They said I have. They say I have like 50 billion laughs, but they're all laughing. I promise you, they're not fake laughs. They're real laughs. They might sound fake, but they're not. That. They don't think that one's real. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm always laughing. That's the thing. Mostly, always. Sometimes I'm grouchy. Okay, enough about me. Let's get started. Okay. Good morning to those who just got on here. Mommy, happy cousin. I cuss on here all the time. Okay. We are on the 4 agreements. We are on the part where it says don't take anything personal. And this one is really hard because we ourselves in our first agreement talking about how we love ourselves, what we think about ourselves, we say how are we speaking to ourselves, because when we understand how we speak to ourselves, then what ends up happening is we won't take anything personal. So the first agreement really kind of helps the second one. Now, if we're taking things personal, it's a good marker. It's a good starting point to ask yourself, do I love myself and where can I work on myself? Why am I taking this personal? Okay. So you take it personal because you agree with whatever is said. As soon as you agree, the poison goes through you and you're trapped in the dream of hell. What causes you to be trapped in is what we call personal importance. Personal importance, or taking things personally, is the maximum expression of selflessness because we make the assumption that everything is about me. During the period of our education, of our domestication, we learn to take everything personally. We think we are responsible for everything. Me, 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 always me. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. All people live in their own dream and their own mind, and they are completely different worlds from the one we live in. When we take something personal, we make the assumption that they know what is in our world, and we try to impose our world on their world. Even when a situation seems so personal, even if others insult you directly, it has nothing to do with you. What they say, what they do, and the opinions they give are according to the agreements they have in their own minds. Their point of view comes from all programming they received during their domestication. If someone gives you an opinion and says, hey, you look fat, don't take it personally, because the truth is that that person is dealing with his or her own feelings and beliefs and opinions. That person tried to send poison to you, and if you take it personally, then you take that poison on. So basically, it's like taking the poison, drinking the poison. It's like, here, let me give you some poison. So if someone says you're ugly, you're stupid, whatever it is that they're telling you. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, Piscean 08. Someone gives you the poison to drink. Why are you going to drink it? For what purpose, right? Think about it. What you're doing is you're intoxicating your body with toxins, intoxication, right? Toxic. And why would you want to take that on? Okay, taking things personal makes you easy prey for those who are predators, the black magicians. They can hook you easily with one little opinion, and feed you whatever poison they want. And because you take it personally, you eat it up. You eat all their emotional garbage, and now it becomes your garbage. But if you do not take it personally, you are immune in the good morning. I don't know who just got in here. Immune in the middle of hell. Immunity to poison in the middle of hell is a gift of this agreement. Immunity in the middle of hell is the gift to this. Okay, so what they're saying, okay, and the way that you practice this is that you understand that people will project their worldview upon you. Their worldview comes from their own personal programming. You can never, ever, even look, me and my niece were talking, me and my sister, very different, raised by the same parents. And you can have two kids raised in the same household turn out completely different. How does that happen? Is it genetics? We're constantly questioning, well, why different personalities? Why? Because perception and programming are totally different. Maybe the older child was exposed to something different than the younger child because they were born in the same year. Maybe they were living in a neighborhood and maybe those kids were not very kind. And then they moved to a different neighborhood and it was inclusive and the kids were kind and the second child never experienced that. We'll never have the same exact experience as human beings. Nobody will. However, there are common threads that we all engage in this illusion. Suffering is one of them. We all know what it feels like to be treated not so great or to feel like we're not enough or to have the suffering of this world. We all understand that. Now, how we engage that suffering shifts from person to person. Some people will take things so personally. Now, there's a part in this book that I don't 100% agree with. There's a couple of things that I don't agree with. And there was one that I didn't agree with earlier that I told you guys about. But the fact that it says personal responsible. During the period of our education and measure, we learn to take everything personal. We think we are responsible for everything. We are responsible for everything. That particular statement in the book is not something that I personally believe. We are responsible. Now, not responsible, and this is probably what Don Miguel reads when he wrote this. If I could talk to him about it, I would. Good morning, Will, because there's a couple of things in the book that I'd ask him about that I don't 100% agree with. But we are personally responsible for how we engage, how we react to certain situations. That is our responsibility. Okay? The responsibility lies within us. How do we engage a certain situation? So, for instance, if somebody does say something to you that hurts you or harms you or makes you feel a certain way, is that Tony? Good morning. Good morning, those on Facebook. Please say good morning. I can't see your faces anymore. I don't know who's on here. It's driving me nuts. Okay. So, sorry, I just took a sip of coffee. If you hear me slurp on Podbean, I'm drinking coffee. Okay. Okay, so the person, we take personal responsibility. Now, not as in it's my fault and blaming yourself. Okay, that's the thing. Good evening from where I am. Where are you actually, Piscean? Oh, 08. How we engage a situation is critical. Okay, so basically, if somebody says something to you, okay, and the second agreement, right, is don't take anything personally. Let's say someone says something to you that's really foul. In the Middle East. Well, thank you for joining us in the Middle East. Doha, Qatar. Oh, I don't know where that is. I'll have to look that up. What is it near? In the personal responsibility, it's if a situation happens, if somebody does something foul to you, if somebody does something doesn't seem very kind, right? Sometimes we'll say, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. And I think that's probably what he's trying to say within this sentence or, at least communicate. is that you say, "Oh, poor me, it's all my fault. I'm this, I'm that," and being responsible like that. However, how we engage that particular it, saying or the way someone is treating us is our responsibility. How we respond to it is up to us. Now, how would you respond to it if you want it to be more meaningful instead of falling into the trap of "I'm not enough, I'm not worthy"? Okay, how? Well, here's a couple of things that you can do. Ask yourself, is it true? I don't like that question particularly. And when I was going through my coaching and, we had other students that were coaches and stuff, they would always ask me that question. Is it true? Is you know it's 100% true? And I'm like, no, I know it's not true. That's not the point, but it feels true. Okay. Why does it feel true? So we start to dig deeper into why we accept the certain things that people are telling us about us. Why are we saying that that's okay? Why do we think that that's So asking yourself those questions, why? Why are we wearing this information as though that's who I am when I know I'm not that? There's no reason to get upset. If someone calls you a jerk and you're upset about that, why are you upset about that? That's my question. Why? Well, because they're mean. But why are they mean? Are you a jerk? My question is, are you a jerk? Are you mean? Well, no. Okay, then why does it bother you? What validation are you looking from other people to say that you're a nice person and you're so wonderful? Just be nice and wonderful. Is that Kumar? I think it's Kumar. Good morning. Good morning. Who's on here? Annie. Okay. Nika Boo. I like these names on Podbean. They're just interesting. Okay. Coffee. I love these. Good morning, Doreen. Why, Doreen, you show up every time you come on here? I don't know why your name shows up. That's pretty interesting. So don't take anything personally or do, and ask yourself if it's working out for you. Remember, we are responsible for how we engage a situation. That is our personal responsibility. But we could never, ever, 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 ever live in the shoes of somebody else. We don't understand that. We never will. We're never going to have We're never going to see life through the lens of somebody else unless there was a way to switch our souls. And there's movies about that, right? There's movies about like the kid becomes the adult and the adult becomes the kid. And now they're seeing things through each other's eyes. And then they realize, oh, shoot, no wonder you behave this way. No wonder you act this way. Look at what you're having to go through. And the parents like, oh, well, look at what this kid's having to go through. And they're able to see, but that doesn't happen in life. If it does, y'all let me know who's that happened to, where their souls bodies have switched. Doesn't. So we have to sort of say, okay, it's not my stuff. This is your stuff. That's another question you can ask yourself to support yourself. Is this my drama? Is this my stuff, or is this somebody else's stuff that I'm taking on as my own? Because it could be their stuff and they're projecting it upon you, but then you take the poison, you drink it, and now they've hooked you. And now they're like, aha, I could just hook them and do whatever I want with this person. Wake up, okay? Be alert, be aware. Don't allow that to happen. Ask yourself, is this my drama or their drama? And are they projecting that upon me? And if they are, do I want it? No, I'm going to cut it off. I don't need that in my life. Good morning, Judy. All I could see is the little emoji faces. Oh, look, you did show up as a person on here. Thank you for showing up. Judy, I haven't seen you in a long time. Uh, okay, let's continue reading on. Okay. When you take things personally, you feel offended, and your reaction is to defend your beliefs and create conflicts. You make something big out of something so little because you have the need to be right and make everybody else wrong. You also try hard to be right by giving them your own opinions. In the same way, whatever you feel or do, just is just a projection of your own personal dream, a reflection of your own agreements. What you say, what you do, and the opinions you have are according to the agreements you have made, and these opinions have nothing to do with me. Okay, the need to be right and look good. Okay. Good morning, Deliber. The need to look right, and I've talked about this before, you guys. We have this thing where we have to be right about who we are, what we're doing, who we are, what we are. The need to be right about something. Okay. The need to be right and look good. It really boils down to those things. When we argue and we're in conflict with somebody, it's because we're trying to persuade them to believe and think the way we do. And if they don't, sometimes we have judgments about other people when they don't think the way we do. Oh, they're just weird. They're just dumb. They're just this. They're just that. We project all kinds of awful things on them because they don't see life the way we do. They're not going to. It's not our job to make people see things the way we do. We don't need to be right about it. If you feel like it's helping you in your life, awesome. Continue to do it. But why do we need to project this on other people? Why do we have to be right? All you're doing is wasting energy when you're never going to change the mind of somebody who already thinks this way. And I'm going to tell you a little story. Right now, I'm in sales. And in sales, it's an interesting place to be. But they talk about, why don't take things personally. What's the worst someone can tell you? No. And that's it. Am I going to take that personally? Why would I take that personally? No. They were never going to buy it in the first place. They were never going to purchase this one thing anyway. So what? What's the worst that could happen? I end up where I was before. Okay. So for you guys, it's looking at that. It's asking yourself, okay, so this situation has showed up. There's a projection of I need to be right, and you're defending your point of view. Okay. And that's what we do. Good morning, Benman. We say, okay, I've got to protect that I know this. Why do I need to be right here? Well, I know I'm right. Okay, good. Awesome. You're right according to yourself. Now let me ask you this question. Is your need to be right causing you not to have the relationships and friendships that you want in your life? It's a simple question, right? I've talked about this too. I had a student who said, well, I just know I'm right. I said, good. And you being right at the expense of your relationship, do you care about the relationship? Do you want the relationship in your life? Well, yeah. Well, then continue to be right and see how, if they continue to stay in your life, they're going to leave. It's your opinion. And maybe your way of doing it is right, but maybe it's not right for them. So is your need to be right worth losing relationships? How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a really good book. Oh, good. I'm glad you've read it. I've never read it. I've seen it. And I'm wondering, Judy, if you're telling me this because some of what I'm saying is what the book says. Our need to be right and look good is one of the biggest things that we do. It boils down to this because we don't want to look dumb. We don't want to look this way. We don't want to look that way. We want to be the best we can be. We want to be on our A game. Oh, I know everything. Self-righteous a little bit sometimes. Why? Because we have our pride and we want to look good and let down the ego, because that's really ego. That's what it is. It's the ego's coming out and defending itself. I just go, okay, it's just whatever. I'm good. I'll walk away. I literally will. If someone, okay, you're right, and you're okay to have your opinion and the way you see it. I honor that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with honoring people and honoring what they're saying. And this agreement, I think, really kind of speaks into that. I honor you. I honor what you're saying. I see you. And I don't see it that same way, but that doesn't mean that I don't respect you. That doesn't mean that I have to make you believe the way I believe. It doesn't mean I'm going to believe the way you believe, but I respect and honor you. Is it working in your life? Is the way that you're operating and that working for you? If someone told me to go run on the treadmill, I'd be like, you are crazy. I ain't running. Maybe it works for you. Awesome. I don't like to run. I never have. I never will. So maybe you're right that it works, but there's a billion other pieces of equipment that work too. Okay. And that's an example. But I'm not going to say, oh, you're wrong. Well, because I see runners and their knees are messed up and they've had surgery and blah, blah, blah. And this is why I don't know. I'm not going to go into that. I might say I don't do it because I don't want to hurt myself. And because I know that when I do run, my knees start to hurt. And maybe it is a really good exercise to do. And maybe people do love to run, and that's cool. And I'm glad that you're a runner. I'm glad that you're moving. I honor that in you. I'm glad that you can do this. I totally love people who can do these things. I wished I could. There was times where I was like, man, it'd be cool to run a marathon. That ain't me. It ain't ever going to be me. But I'm not going to make people wrong for doing it. Just like I'm like, why would you make me wrong for knowing how to do my workouts? I do what's best for me. So people are doing what's best for them, and then they try to project what they think's best for them on other people. And if they don't do it their exact way, then they must be wrong or stupid. That's not true. Okay. There's a trillion other ways. Just like showing up to this podcast. You don't have to, and people will be like, I'm so sorry I didn't watch. I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm not taking names and counts of who shows up or who doesn't show up. People will show up when they're ready to show up. People will stay on when they're ready to stay on. People will hear the message that they're supposed to hear. I'm not coercing or forcing people into this. People are doing it because they're like, oh, this is how I feel. I think this is a good place for me to hear, or something for me to hear that's going to benefit me in my life. But there's no coercion. There's no like, you have to be here and you're in trouble and you're wrong for not. No, it's not how this works. I want people to show up because my heart is in the right place. I want to support people to live their best life. However, I can do that. However, I can give back to humanity in that way is what I'm going to do. I've been saying this for how many years already? My whole life since I was a little girl. So our agreement of don't take anything personal is a little bit hard. And also not taking things personal, the need to be right and look good. I will be the first to admit when I don't know something, I'll say it. I will say it. I'm just blunt that way. Why? Because it's easier for me to communicate and say, I don't get what you're saying. Like, can you explain it to me? Help me understand what you're talking about so that I know, so that I can at least relate to you. Because at this point, I can't. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm not getting it. You know, most people are embarrassed to say that. Most people are embarrassed to raise their hand. I ask a trillion, gazillion, bazillion questions sometimes to get to the root of what it is and get clarity. And once I'm clear, then I'm like, okay, awesome. But I don't have to be right about it. Well, let me understand your point of view. I have a friend who has a completely doesn't believe in a soul, doesn't believe in beliefs, doesn't, I don't know, atheist, I don't know. And I said, well, explain it to me. Tell me, because I think we're saying the same thing, but I think we're using different language. And we talk and we come to what's called a win-win situation where we both agree that, oh yeah, I see you, I understand you. And then they're like, well, I understand you. And I'm like, well, your worldview is working for you, right? Like the way that you see the world is helping you to become the person you want to become, right? Or it's helping you to live a good life, a rich life, right? And their answer is like, yeah. And I'm like, then awesome. I don't need you to live my life. You're not living my life. You don't see life the way I see life. Good morning, Michelle. But you understand that the way that I live my life is serving me and helping me to create what I want in my world. And the thing is, absolutely. Well, then awesome. My only question to you, and it's not a judgment, regardless of how people answer this question, is what is your intention behind all of this? Is it to harm or is it to do good? I can guarantee you that 99% of the population, okay, is not here to do harm, but is here to do good. And that 99% of the population doesn't go out saying, oh, I'm going to get that person and I'm going to do this. And there's a few, okay, and there's a small few. We just don't understand how to communicate. And so we get tangled up in language and the way that we perceive and we project and we judge. And we're not wanting that. And when we understand why the results show up in our life all distorted and jacked up, that's not what I was trying to create, but it totally came out that way. Well, why? It's because there are a few things that internally we need to sort of adjust. Those adjustments are based upon you and yourself and how you can engage that. So, not how I would do it, but how do you do it? And so, I'm literally coming up with a curriculum. It's going to be a 6-week program, and it will be at a cost. And it's going to be a very low price. It's not going to be ridiculous amounts that some of these coaches and everything charge. But there is a cost, right? Because there's time equity that goes into it. There's maintenance that goes on the back end. There's a lot of things that go into it to make it operational, right? And so those things, like even now, I'm going to do a crowdfund to sort of raise funds to get the curriculum up and running. Why? So that I can support people, so that people can understand how to utilize this information at a deeper level. So that you have something that you can write and you can engage with, right? Listening is one tool, but writing is another. And journaling and meditating and doing all these what we call participation exercises, right? Where you're engaging in the material takes it to another level, helps you, will teach you. Okay, I'm a teacher. I teach people. I'm here to teach. And I'm not here to tell you how to do it right, wrong, good, or bad, but for you to learn how to do it for yourself because I don't know how you guys are. I don't know. I mean, I can never be you. You can never be me, but we can at least come to some sort of an agreement that we're human, we are suffering, and we go through suffering together. We can at least agree on that. And how we engage that suffering is going to be different. And what works for you may not work for me, and what works for me may not work for you. And that is okay. And because of that, I am creating a curriculum to support you to figure out what that looks like for you. Not me, you. Most teachers will project upon you what they think the process should look like for you. That is the biggest difference between me and other people, right? Me and some of the other people. Now, is the way they're doing it wrong? No, absolutely not. They're there to help too. They're here to facilitate. They want the best for you, right? I'm just saying that I don't know you. Like people will ask me questions that I don't know. I don't know you. I can't give you an opinion because it's not up to me to give opinions about who you are. I can ask you questions. I can facilitate you to that answer so that you trust yourself. Trust yourself. When we start to trust ourselves, we stop taking things personally. Why? Because we stand firm in who we are. People will get uncomfortable when you stand firm in who you are. And I don't mean just like in confidence. I'm even talking like I'll at work say, I suck. I'm not good at this. Well, don't say you suck. I'm like, no, I'm not good at it. I'm really not. I'm being honest. Like, I know that. I'm not saying that I suck, like I'm a bad person, suck, but I'm not good at this. And I can grow and I can get better because right now I'm not very good. But at least I can say it. but I know that I can get better, so I can learn. There's nothing wrong with saying that I suck and I don't understand this. Maybe suck is not the right word, okay? But I don't get it. I'm not good at it at this point. I can always get better. I can always learn more. I can always tweak my methods, my process. I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. We can always tweak a little bit, just a little bit. It doesn't have to be like a lot, right? It's 1 degree. If we could do 1 degree, we're doing good. I promise you, just the 1 degree. 1 degree would be don't take anything personal. Sounds small, it's huge because it goes into bigger, deeper things, okay? So there you go. That is what I have today. We're going to continue reading the 4 agreements. I'm going to continue to tell you when I don't agree 100% with certain things, and I'll tell you why I don't agree with them. Doesn't mean that you can agree with them. And it doesn't mean that Don Miguel Ruiz couldn't get on here and be like, look, this is what I mean, and that I wouldn't say, oh, awesome, I see your point of view. Doesn't mean that I'm going to take them on as my truths, right? That's not the point. The point is not to wear everybody's truth as your own. It's to find your own personal truth, okay? All right, good. Awesome. Great Monday talk. I'm still waiting on my coffees to come in from Life Boost. Hopefully that comes in and we'll see if that does. Other things happening in the background. So we'll see. Good morning to Mama. This is a Mama. She says, good morning.
Have a good day.
That's called love. Okay, so I love you guys. Have a fantastical, magical day. Make sure you got your coffee with you. I am drinking some organic beans with cardamom and cinnamon. I love my coffee. This is my first time listening to you. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Piscean, for coming on here and enjoying it. And I enjoy having you. And I also enjoy the interaction. If you guys have any questions before I leave, please, please, please submit them. Submit them to spiritandbrew@gmail.com. Spiritandbrew@gmail.com. And I can answer them on my live videos when I come on here, okay? So I love you guys. Have the most magical, magnificent, marvelous, magical, I think I said it already, magnetic Monday ever, okay? Love you. Bye.